Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this May the 11th, 2023. I'm hoping everybody's having a great Thursday out there so far. Everybody continue to stay safe and well, and also enjoy the weather because that's the only weather you got. Okay. In today's video, we're going to talk about the watches, warning, and advisory map here, as you can see on the computer here. We're going to take a look at the weather radar across the nation. We're going to take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlook for today, Friday, and Saturday. Okay, if you're a new viewer and have not subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. Love to have you. Like these videos, share these videos, and let's go ahead and get the show on the road here. Alrighty. We got quiet condition lost in the East Coast from Maine all the way down to Florida, back to Alabama. We got a tornado watch for portions of northern Louisiana and central and southern Mississippi. Got a flood watch in effect for portions of northwestern Mississippi, southern Arkansas, northwest Louisiana, central and southern Texas. Also back over here in the portions of northeast Colorado, western Nebraska, eastern Wyoming, northwest Colorado, eastern Montana, and northern Wyoming as well. We have a special weather statement for over central Texas. Also, we have red flag warnings in effect for portions of New Mexico as well. Also, some wind advisories there as well. Some air quality alerts over southwestern Arizona. Some winter storm warning, winter weather advisory over portions of Colorado. Got some flood advisories over portions of central Kansas. Northwest Kansas, that is. Got a tornado warning or two there, and also a tornado watch also in effect for eastern Colorado, southern Nebraska, and west central Kansas. Got a few tornado warnings there. Got some severe thunderstorm warnings in the watch box down here in Louisiana and Mississippi. Some flood warnings in effect for portions of southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana, and also north central Louisiana as well. We got some still got them river flooding along the north and South Dakota area. Also over in Minnesota as well. Also, we have some flood advisories over central Arkansas. Also over here in portions of southeast Idaho, and also got some river flooding also over here in Nevada. We have an excessive heat watch in effect for portions of western Oregon and also western Washington State. Some heat advisories over southwestern portion of Oregon, northern California, and also down into central California as well. Also, we have a special weather statement, some flood watches in effect for portions of Alaska, and the Hawaiian Chain Island looks good as well. Alright, let's take a look at the radar across the nation. We have some showers over portions of New York, over back toward New Hampshire and Vermont. Also, we have some shower and thunderstorm activity over portions of southern South Carolina. Also into portions of northern Georgia, northern Alabama, into Tennessee and Kentucky. Also in the central and northern Louisiana, back over here Texas as well, Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, also back up into portions of Iowa. Excuse me about that pop up there. Got that up here in Wisconsin, also southern Canada as well. Also more showers over here in portions of Montana. North Dakota, Colorado as well, in the portion of Kansas. Also, the west coast looks good. Got some scattered activity over western Montana and southern Canada, and northern Idaho. Water and thunderstorm activity around the Hawaiian Chain Island, and Puerto Rico got a few scattered showers in your vicinity as well. All right. Let's take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlook for today. Okay, we had general thunderstorms over portions of New York and New Hampshire and Maine. Southern Maine, also back into portions of New York area, just north of New York area around the Connecticut region. Also general thunderstorms in portions of Florida, back through Georgia, all in Kentucky, back into Tennessee, and back into Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, back over to Montana and Idaho, also into Wyoming, and also portions of Colorado as well. In southern Texas, we have a marginal risk over western Florida, the Panhandle portion, back into southwest Georgia, central and southern Alabama, back into southern, central and southern Mississippi, and much of Louisiana. Got a little slight rift area with Louisiana and Mississippi. Also, we have a slight rift and a marginal rift and a slight rift and an enhanced rift extending from Texas all the way to portions of Kansas and also into Nebraska, Colorado, and western Missouri, and also marginal rift from northern Nebraska and South Dakota as well. If you're in the enhanced rift, this includes Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, Wichita, Kansas, Norman, Oklahoma, and Lawton, Oklahoma. The slight rift includes Jackson, Mississippi, Wichita Falls, Texas, Monroe, Louisiana, Salina, Kansas, Alexandria, Louisiana. And if you're in the marginal rift, this includes Fort Worth, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, Tampa, Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida, and Birmingham, Alabama. Let's take a look at tornado probability for today. We have 2% in the green, 5% in the brown down here in portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, and southern Arkansas. Also, we have a 5, 10, and 2% down here in Texas, all the way back into North Dakota, but the 5 and 10% is from eastern Colorado through Kansas, back into Oklahoma. And the significant severe weather would be in the yellow slashed area. If you're in the significant severe weather area, this is Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Norman, Oklahoma, Edmond, Oklahoma, Midwest City, Oklahoma, and Moore, Oklahoma. The 10%, this includes Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, Wichita, Kansas, Norman, Oklahoma, Lawton, Oklahoma. The 5% include Wichita Falls, Texas, Monroe, Louisiana, Salina, Texas, Alexandria, Louisiana, Muskie, Oklahoma. And the 2% include Fort Worth, Texas, Jackson, Mississippi, Topeka, Kansas, Denton, Texas, and Louisville, Texas. Let's take a look at the wind probability for today. We have 5% down in Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, back into Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. We have a 15% over Mississippi, and although we have a 5 and 15% over Texas, all the way to portions of South Dakota as well, including Nebraska, Oklahoma, and Kansas, and eastern Colorado. If you're in the 15%, this includes Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, Wichita, Kansas, Jackson, Mississippi, Norman, Oklahoma. And the 5% include Fort Worth, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, Tampa, Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida, and Birmingham, Alabama. All right, let's take a look at the hail probability. We have 5% in western Florida, all the way back into portions of Louisiana, including Mississippi, Alabama, and southwest Georgia. We have a 5% extending from Texas all the way to portions of North Dakota. We have a 15% for eastern Colorado, southwest Nebraska, through Kansas, through Oklahoma, and northern Texas. We have a 30% of a significant severe weather event in portions of Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, and northern Texas. And the severe weather will be Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, Wichita, Kansas, Norman, Oklahoma, Wichita Falls, Texas. The 30% includes Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Wichita, Kansas, Norman, Oklahoma, Lawton, Oklahoma, and Edmond, Oklahoma. The 15% include Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, Wichita Falls, Texas, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, Salina, Kansas, Muskie, Oklahoma. The 5% include Fort Worth, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, Birmingham, Alabama, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Montgomery, Alabama. All right, let's move on to day 2. We have general thunderstorms in New York State, also back down into portions of the Maryland, Washington, D.C. area, back through West Virginia, western North Carolina, western South Carolina, down to Florida, all the way back to Louisiana and Texas, also into Oklahoma, all the way back into Colorado, back into portions of Wyoming, also southern Montana, and including North and South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio as well. We have a slight risk of severe weather and a marginal risk over Texas through portions. Oklahoma has a slight risk. Excuse me, my computer refreshing. Alrighty, marginal risk, like I said, including Arkansas, back over to Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, Also in Oklahoma, back in the South Dakota, Southwest Minnesota, and Iowa. We have a slight risk over southern South Dakota, portion of Nebraska, northeast Kansas, northwest Missouri, much of Iowa. Like I said, over here in Oklahoma and Texas, slight risk area. The marginal risk does include Memphis, Tennessee, Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, Wichita, Kansas, St. Louis, Missouri, and Lubbock, Texas. The slight risk does include San Antonio, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Austin, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, and Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Let's take a look at the tornado probability. We have a 2% from Texas all the way to South Dakota and Iowa and Missouri and Kansas and Oklahoma and Nebraska. 5% up here in Nebraska, western Iowa, northwest Missouri, and northeast Kansas. If you're in the 2%, this includes Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, Des Moines, Iowa, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and Abilene, Texas. The 5% include Kansas City, Missouri, Omaha, Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska, Overland Park, Kansas, and Kansas City, Kansas. Let's take a look at the wind probability. We have 5% from Texas all the way to South Dakota, also into Montana, Iowa, back into western Illinois, western Tennessee, western Kentucky, northwest Mississippi, including Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. 15% including Texas and Oklahoma, and also portion of northwest Missouri, northeast Kansas, back into western central Iowa, back into southern South Dakota, and western and northeastern and eastern Nebraska. If you're in the 5%, does include Memphis, Tennessee, Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, Wichita, Kansas, St. Louis, Missouri, Lubbock, Texas. Although the 15% includes San Antonio, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Austin, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, and Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Let's take a look at the hail probability. We have a 5% and a 15% over Texas. Also 5% over Arkansas, back into portion of Oklahoma and Kansas, and also back into Missouri, western Illinois, back into Iowa, South Dakota, and Nebraska. We have a 15% up here in portions of southern South Dakota, west central Iowa, northeastern Nebraska, northeastern portion of Kansas, and also northwestern portion of Missouri. Over here in southern Oklahoma, back into Texas, in the yellow slash area, that would be the significant hail probability. This would be Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Omaha, Nebraska, Abilene, Texas, Norman, Oklahoma, Wichita Falls, Texas. The 15% includes San Antonio, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Austin, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And the 5% include Memphis, Tennessee, Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, Wichita, Kansas, St. Louis, Missouri, and Lubbock, Texas. And finally, we're going to wrap it up with your Saturday forecast. We got general thunderstorm from a portion of Washington, D.C. through the Carolina, northern Florida, back to Texas, New Mexico, back in the portion of Arizona, Nevada, southern Idaho, back in the portion of South Dakota, North Dakota, and Montana. We have a slight risk and a marginal risk. Marginal risk includes Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, southwest Indiana, Iowa, southeast South Dakota, and northeast portions of Nebraska. Have a slight risk over Iowa, have a marginal risk over Texas and Oklahoma and southern Kansas, and also we have a slight risk over southern Texas. Alright, and if you're in the slight risk area, this includes San Antonio, Texas, Austin, Texas, Corpus Christi, Texas, Laredo, Texas, and Des Moines, Iowa. The marginal risk includes Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Nashville, Tennessee, and Omaha, Nebraska. And let's take a look at the probability. 5% in the brown from Tennessee all the way into Kentucky, southwest Indiana, southern central and southern Illinois, back in the portion of South Dakota and Nebraska and Iowa. We have 15% over Iowa, 15% over southern Texas, 5% in Texas and portion of Oklahoma, southern Kansas. The 15% includes San Antonio, Texas, Austin, Texas, Corpus Christi, Texas, Laredo, Texas, and Des Moines, Iowa. And the 5% includes Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Nashville, Tennessee, and Omaha, Nebraska. Alrighty. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Hope everybody consider subscribing. Love to have you. Like these videos, share these videos, and enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. And we will catch you back in the next video.